In a surprise move today, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta said the United States will end its combat role in Afghanistan next year. Panetta told reporters, hopefully, by mid to the latter part of 2013, we'll be able to make a transition from a combat role to a training, advise, and assist role. This is the first time a United States official has put a date on a drawdown of troops. The timeline fits President Obama's promise to hand over security to Afghan authorities by the end of 2014. Jon Soltz, chairman of VoteVets.org, joins us tonight. Did a number of tours in Iraq. John, good to have you with us. Your reaction to the news, and do you believe it?
Well, I mean, I think I'm like anyone else who's served in these wars. I think everyone's happy when you hear 2014, because if you're not there right now, they've only got 24 months to call you up and send you. So I think that's great. Do I believe it? I think there's some framing we could put on this so the public has a better understanding. Essentially, what the Secretary of Defense is saying is that in 2012 in Afghanistan, it's going to be the way it has been in prior years. We're going to have a lot of troops outside the wire, a lot of troops in the villages conducting what we call counterinsurgency operations. In 2013, we're going to look a lot like we did in Iraq last year, which is advise, train, assist, where we're going to have additional officers attached to each brigade, but we're not going to be outside the wire very much. We're going to be working with the Afghan military in a role that's more of a counter-terror advising the Iraq or the Afghan army. So I think it's a real shot across the bow to the coin strategists in this town and the Petraeus theories about all of these troops that were needed in Afghanistan. And it's certainly a victory for the vice president's camp, who opposed these types of tactics in a long-term war. What
does this do to the troops as far as exposing them to greater danger, and also what's it do to the budget?
Well, if we're going to go to an advise, train, and assist mission in 2013, to give you an example, in Iraq, what it looked like, we had 17 brigades on the ground in Iraq, almost 20 during the surge. When we went to an advise, train, and assist mission, largely in 2011, at the end of 2010 in Iraq, we went down to 5 combat brigades. So they're wrong when they say U.S. troops aren't in combat. U.S. troops are in combat because people are shooting them. But they're conducting a mission that's safer for them. They're on the base. They're training mostly the foreign military. But there's distinct challenges with the Afghan military. They're less trained, less educated than the Iraqi military. They don't have a military to pull from. So the U.S. troops that will be on the ground in 2013 in Afghanistan they'll still be in danger, but their mission will be more safe than it is right now. And then by 2014, that'll look a lot like what happened in December in Iraq, where we completely pull out and hand it over to Afghan forces.
Last summer, President Obama announced plans to speed up withdrawal from Afghanistan, and at the time, 72% of Americans supported him, which suggests this policy should help President Obama in an election year. What do you think?
Well, I think the president's learned that putting all of these troops in this counterinsurgency doctrine he was really pushed into by General Petraeus and General McChrystal hasn't worked. I mean, he's seen tremendous success because he had a counter-terror operation in Pakistan and killed Osama bin Laden. Just last week, he went into Somalia and he freed an American and a Danish citizen who were being held by terrorists in that country. So he's going to a lighter footprint to kill terrorists where they're at, and that's very popular. I think, 56 or 57% of Americans right now don't think we're on the right course in Afghanistan, and so he's created a position now that Mitt Romney or whoever the Republican nominee is going to oppose. And so now the Republican nominee is going to be in a less popular position going into the election year. But none of this will matter, Ed. None of this is going to matter if the president loses re-election. If the president loses re-election, the timeline's off, and the coin strategists and all of these people who think we need hundreds of thousands of troops in Afghanistan to take a country from the 15th century to the 20th century will be in power, and we'll see a shift again. So it's great there's a timeline, but it won't matter if the president loses in November.
Jon Soltz, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.